Hello guys, here is new part of What If Naruto Had Mana part 6. In next part 1 we'll try to end the story, so please like and subscribe if you like this story. Okay, here we go. The Hokage's office was filled with the orange hues of a setting sun, casting long shadows on the walls lined with scrolls and maps. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, sat behind his desk, the weight of recent events evident in his weary expression. He took a long draw from his pipe, exhaling slowly as he reflected on the chaos of the failed Konoha crush. A knock at the door snapped him from his thoughts. The door opened to reveal Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, his usual jovial demeanor absent. "You called for me, sensei?" Jiraiya said, stepping inside and closing the door behind him. "Jiraiya." Hiruzen gestured to a chair. "Yes, please sit. We have much to discuss." Jiraiya took a seat, observing the exhaustion etched on Hiruzen's face. "I've already heard about Orochimaru's retreat. Guess the snake didn't get what he wanted. What's troubling you?" Hiruzen placed his pipe down carefully. "It's not just Orochimaru's failure or his retreat that troubles me. It's the state of our village, the repercussions of his actions, and Naruto." "Ah, the kid?" Jiraiya leaned back, crossing his arms. "Heard he turned some heads during the battle. What about him?" Hiruzen nodded, the faintest smile forming. "Naruto didn't just turn heads. He single-handedly changed the tide of the Konoha crush. From what the reports indicate, his strength is far beyond what any of us could have predicted. He overpowered not just the Sound Village's ninjas but even matched and surpassed Orochimaru's tactics." Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. "Surpassed Orochimaru? Sensei, are you sure you're not exaggerating?" No. Hiruzen's gaze grew distant. "Naruto fought Orochimaru directly. While I was focused on holding back the reanimated Hokages, Naruto took it upon himself to confront and subdue Orochimaru's summons and barrier. And his abilities," he paused, taking a breath. "It wasn't chakra alone, Jiraiya. There was something more, something we've never seen before." Jiraiya's interest was piqued. "What kind of something more are we talking about here?" Hiruzen frowned, trying to put the inexplicable into words. "It's almost like a force outside the shinobi system. His clones, his daggers, his elemental attacks. They aren't bound by the traditional rules of chakra manipulation. Orochimaru himself admitted he couldn't fully comprehend it. This isn't just raw strength or talent, Jiraiya. This is different." Jiraiya stroked his chin thoughtfully. "If Naruto's got abilities like that, it's no wonder Orochimaru fled. But why now? He's had the 9 tails in him since he was a baby. This kind of power doesn't just show up overnight. Perhaps it's tied to his bond with the 9 tails," Hiruzen mused. "Or perhaps it's something else entirely, something unique to Naruto. Whatever the case, it's both a blessing and a responsibility." Jiraiya's expression turned serious. "You're worried it might make him a target?" "Exactly." Hiruzen leaned forward, resting his elbows on his desk. "Orochimaru's interest in Naruto was palpable. And it's not just him. Word of this kind of strength will spread. There will be others, individuals and villages alike, who will want to exploit him, control him." The room fell silent for a moment as the gravity of the situation settled. "What do you want me to do, sensei?" Jiraiya finally asked. "I want you to take Naruto under your wing," Hiruzen said firmly. "It's clear his power needs guidance only you can provide. You've seen the path Orochimaru took when his abilities went unchecked. I won't let Naruto fall into darkness, especially not after everything he's done for this village." Jiraiya sighed, a smirk tugging at his lips. "You've got a lot of faith in the kid. But I can see why. All right, old man. I'll take him with me. He'll be in good hands." Hiruzen smiled, a rare glimmer of hope in his tired eyes. "Thank you, Jiraiya. I have no doubt you'll help Naruto become the shinobi this village needs." After that Hiruzen tell that I was becoming too old for this job. Jiraiya, I want you to become Hokage. Jiraiya immediately refused the offer and suggests Tsunade to become Hokage. Hiruzen think about that and he order him to bring Tsunade to the village not only for the Hokage position, also heal the injured peoples. Jiraiya asks Naruto to accompany him in the mission and they went to leave the village. The road out of Konoha stretched far, its forested landscape blending seamlessly into the horizon. Naruto, now slightly taller and more muscular due to his training, walked alongside Jiraiya with an excited grin. His confidence was palpable, his movements fluid with the newfound strength he'd acquired. Jiraiya watched him out of the corner of his eye, pride mingling with curiosity about just how far Naruto's abilities had developed. "This is so boring, pervy sage," Naruto whined, kicking a stray pebble on the path. "Are we just going to wander around looking for Granny Tsunade, or are we going to do something cool?" Jiraiya chuckled. "Patience, kid. Finding Tsunade isn't like tracking a ramen shop. She's a bit of a wanderer. And besides, you've been itching to show off your strength. Who knows, maybe we'll run into someone interesting." His words proved prophetic. A faint rustling in the distance stopped Naruto mid-step. Two figures emerged from the shadows. A tall man with spiky blue hair, carrying an enormous, bandaged sword, and another, smaller figure with raven-black hair and a calm, calculating demeanor. The red and black robes of the Akatsuki marked their allegiance unmistakably. Well, Kisame Hashigaki said with a toothy grin, resting Samehada on his shoulder. "If it isn't Jiraiya the Toad Sage. And this must be the Nine-Tails brat." Itachi Uchiha's eyes, already shifting to crimson and bearing the Sharingan's 3 tomo, studied Naruto. His voice was cold, devoid of malice yet piercing. "We weren't expecting to find him outside the village. Fortunate for us." Naruto's grin didn't falter. "Who are these clowns, pervy sage? Another bunch of nobodies?" Kisame laughed, a deep, guttural sound. "Oh, you've got some fire, kid. I like it." Jiraiya's expression darkened. "Naruto, be careful. These two are no joke, members of the Akatsuki. They're dangerous." Naruto cracked his knuckles, a confident smirk on his face. "Dangerous, huh? Let's see about that." Itachi's gaze locked onto Naruto. "This will be quick." His eyes shifted, the Sharingan spinning into the Mangekyo Sharingan. In an instant, the space around Naruto warped, pulling him into the illusory realm of Itachi's Tsukuyami. But as soon as Itachi tried to control the space, his illusion shattered. A powerful shockwave erupted, and Naruto stood unfazed, his eyes clear and focused. "What?" Itachi murmured, his calm exterior momentarily slipping. "My turn," Naruto said, vanishing with a flicker. He reappeared beside Kisame, striking the swordsman with a blow so powerful that Samehada was forced to the ground. Kisame staggered, the grin wiped clean from his face. "This brat's no ordinary kid," Kisame growled, regaining his balance. He swung Samehada, the weapon hungry for Naruto's chakra. However, when it made contact, Samehada recoiled, unable to drain even a fraction of the foreign energy Naruto exuded. "What kind of power is this?" Kisame roared, stumbling back. Naruto's smirk grew. "Guess even your weird sword can't handle me." Itachi activated the Amaterasu, black flames racing toward Naruto. However, Naruto summoned a barrier using a quick seal, energy, not chakra-based, that nullified the attack, leaving Itachi visibly stunned. "Looks like you're not invincible after all," Naruto quipped, before dashing toward Kisame. A fierce clash followed, Naruto's movements a blur as he blocked, countered, and overwhelmed the former swordsman of the mist. Kisame was finally brought to his knees by a devastating elemental combination attack, a swirling storm of wind and lightning that left him incapacitated. Itachi calculated the situation swiftly. Retreat. For now. In a flash, he and Kisame vanished, leaving Jiraiya and Naruto alone. That wasn't too bad, Naruto said, dusting himself off. Who's next? Jiraiya, still absorbing what he'd witnessed, shook his head in amazement. Kid, you're full of surprises. Later, they arrived at a small, secluded town, where their target, Tsunade, was supposedly gambling away her fortune. She was easy to find. Her reputation preceded her. Inside a smoky, crowded gambling den, the blonde Sannin sat at a table, a confident smirk on her face as she rolled the dice. Tsunade, Jiraiya called, striding in with Naruto in tow. She looked up, frowning. What do you want, Jiraiya? Can't you see I'm busy? Naruto, unimpressed, crossed his arms. This is the lady you want as Hokage? She doesn't look like much. Tsunade glared at him. What did you say, brat? You heard me, Granny. Naruto shot back. Why don't you prove me wrong? Amused, Tsunade stood and cracked her knuckles. The makeshift arena was set in an open field outside the town. Tsunade underestimated Naruto, her first punch narrowly missing him as he effortlessly dodged with a speed that shocked even her. Her attempts to land a blow proved futile as Naruto countered her every move with precise strikes. How is this possible? Tsunade panted, the fight dragging on far longer than she expected. Naruto finally landed a powerful blow that sent her skidding back. She stood, stunned, her hands shaking. I told you, Granny, Naruto said, his voice calm but firm. I'm not like anyone else. Jiraiya, watching from the sidelines, muttered to himself, Sensei was right. This kid is something else entirely. Their victory celebration was interrupted when Orochimaru appeared, his sinister aura darkening the atmosphere. You're making this easier, Tsunade, he hissed. Come with me. Naruto stepped forward, his demeanor instantly shifting to deadly serious. The ensuing battle was brief but fierce. Orochimaru launched a barrage of attacks, each one met and neutralized by Naruto's precise counters. The magical dagger Naruto wielded cut through Orochimaru's snake summons like butter. When Orochimaru used his slithering escape technique to avoid certain death, Naruto anticipated it, slashing through the Sannin mid-movement. Wounded and pale, Orochimaru fled, his voice trembling. This boy is a monster. With Orochimaru gone, Tsunade looked at Naruto with newfound respect. You've got my attention, kid, she admitted. All right, I'll take the job as Hokage. As they returned to the village together, the weight of the moment settled. Naruto had proven not only his strength but his ability to change the fate of those around him, a foreshadowing of the incredible things yet to come. And then Tsunade becomes 5th Hokage, and heals peoples like Rock Lee and Kakashi how injure from the Tsukiyomi. In this story, Sasuke never left the village because he never got curse mark, but his arrogance never changes. Kakashi also notices him, so he never teaches great techniques in the time skip. After that we got time skip. In this time Sasuke only have 3 Tame Sharingan and Chidori and nothing much like curse mark technique. Sakura train under Tsunade. In this time Naruto completed majority of his quest and mastered his variation of mana abilities and nature-bending techniques. Tsunade enwants Naruto heritage to public, and she also give his father and mother scroll and money before the announcement. Naruto masters the Rasengan-like technique using his mana, and he also have various monsters under his control. Using his shadow abilities. Now Naruto can be compared to his Baryon mode level or light novel Naruto level. Okay, Naruto also have teleportation abilities without using FTG kunai or mark. Naruto returned to the village after the time skip, the air around him radiating confidence and a profound mastery over his powers. His movements, deliberate yet swift, hinted at years of intense training. The villagers who once ignored him now looked at him with awe, whispers of his abilities spreading like wildfire after Tsunade's declaration of his heritage. His coat, adorned with intricate symbols representing his mana abilities and nature-bending techniques, fluttered as he strode through the streets. The Uzumaki and Namikaze crests on his back gleamed in the sun. Kids pointed excitedly, men and women exchanged approving nods, and a few murmured about how the fourth Hokage's son was destined for greatness. The day for the Chunin promotion trials had arrived, and this year the event was public. It wasn't just an internal test but a festival-like celebration to showcase the strength of Konoha's next generation. Teams would battle one another for individual promotions, overseen by the Hokage, senior jonin, and an audience of villagers. Tsunade, seated in the observation stand beside Jiraiya and the village elders, smirked. This is going to be interesting. Naruto's the wild card here. Jiraiya chuckled. Wild card? That boy's already leagues ahead of his peers. You're giving him too little credit. Team 7's reunion and the first clash. As the matches commenced, Team 7 assembled on the central training ground. Naruto arrived fashionably late, teleporting onto the battlefield in a swirl of golden mana, drawing gasps from the crowd. His arrival alone seemed to exude an otherworldly power. Sasuke, now with 3 tomo in his Sharingan, stood on the opposite side with his arms crossed. His arrogant smirk faltered as he locked eyes with Naruto. So, the losers finally decided to show up? Naruto chuckled. Loser? You sure you want to start this, Sasuke? Remember what happened last time you got cocky? Sakura, clad in her new medical ninja gear and brimming with resolve from years of training under Tsunade, stood between them. Knock it off, you two. We're teammates. Not today, Naruto replied. Today we're rivals. The proctor announced the start of their mock battle, and it began in earnest. Sasuke was the first to strike, activating his Sharingan and unleashing Chidori. Naruto didn't flinch. With a mere thought, he summoned a shimmering shield of mana that nullified the attack on contact. What? Sasuke growled. How did you? Before he could finish, Naruto vanished, reappearing behind him in an instant. Sasuke barely managed to dodge the strike but found himself staring down the golden glow of one of Naruto's mana daggers. You rely too much on your Sharingan, Sasuke, Naruto said, his voice calm but laced with authority. Your eyes won't help if you can't predict this kind of power. The clash escalated. Sasuke launched fireballs, kunai, and ninjutsu, but Naruto countered effortlessly. A single swipe of his dagger absorbed the chakra from Sasuke's attacks, leaving the crowd, and Sasuke, dumbfounded. Sakura tried to assist, summoning all her strength to land a blow. Naruto caught her fist mid-swing with a mana-empowered palm. Nice try, Sakura. But you're still too predictable. Her eyes widened. How did you? Years of hard work, Naruto replied with a grin, gently pushing her back without harming her. The fight culminated in Naruto summoning a 5-headed shadow beast created entirely from his mana. Each head launched a different elemental attack simultaneously, forcing Sasuke and Sakura to combine their efforts just to defend. Yet, they were pushed to their limits while Naruto didn't even break a sweat. The result and recognition. After the fight concluded, the proctor declared Naruto the winner. The audience erupted in cheers, with chants of his name reverberating through the arena. Tsunade, impressed as always, rose from her seat. Naruto Uzumaki, she announced, her voice carrying through the field, has proven himself more than capable. Not only is he now officially promoted to Jonin, but it is time the village acknowledged him as more than just a powerful ninja. Naruto blinked in surprise. Wait, Jonin? I just became a Chunin after the announcement of my heritage. Yeah, Tsunade smirked, and you've already surpassed most Jonin. This promotion was overdue. As the villagers continued their cheers, Sasuke stood off to the side, fists clenched. His mind raced. How did he get so strong? How is he flying, negating my techniques like they're nothing? I should be the one the villagers look at like that. Conversations after the battle. Later, as the celebrations wound down, Naruto sat under the shade of a large tree, savoring the peace. Sakura approached cautiously, her expression unreadable. "Hey, Naruto," she began, sitting down beside him. "That was incredible. You've changed so much. I barely recognize the kid who used to pull pranks around the village." Naruto smiled. "Thanks, Sakura. It wasn't easy, you know. A lot of training, a lot of sleepless nights, but I did it." Sasuke joined them reluctantly, his hands stuffed into his pockets. His voice was gruff. "Don't get cocky, loser. Just because you've grown stronger doesn't mean you're unbeatable." Naruto turned to him, his gaze steady. "I'm not cocky, Sasuke, but I won't stop getting stronger. If you want to catch up, you're going to have to work for it." Sasuke scowled but said nothing. Inside, his jealousy burned hotter than ever. The shift in the village. As Naruto walked back through the streets, villagers who once turned away from him now approached with respect. Children followed him, asking for tips. Merchants gave him discounts. The change was drastic, and Naruto couldn't help but smile. "You're not the same little boy from all those years ago, are you?" Jiraiya remarked, appearing beside him. "No," Naruto said softly, gazing at the Hokage monument in the distance. "And that's just the beginning. Guys, I forget to tell something during the time skip. Naruto unlocked the seal of the 9 tails. In the moments between intense battles across various dimensions, quests that demanded every ounce of his skill and intellect, Naruto often found himself conversing with Kurama. "I know I haven't been perfect, but we're a team now, aren't we?" he had asked one day. Kurama, impressed by Naruto's sincerity and growth, finally chose to give him guidance, teaching him how to refine his immense potential and harness the tailed beast's chakra with precision. Together, they forged a bond that transcended any prior animosity. Kurama taught Naruto techniques to counter powerful beings, including demons and monsters in the other realms where his training took him. The beast's knowledge of raw power and combat strategy, combined with Naruto's unorthodox thinking and creativity, made them an unstoppable duo. Kurama's pride in Naruto grew with every victory, and Naruto, in turn, came to respect and value Kurama's wisdom. After their journey, Naruto decided it was time to reveal everything to Jiraiya: the system, the quests, and the bond he now shared with Kurama. Sitting under the evening sky beside his mentor, Naruto took a deep breath and began. "So, Pervy Sage, there's something you need to know." He started hesitantly but then explained everything. The mysterious system that seemed to guide him, the missions across dimensions, and how Kurama had become not just an ally, but a friend. Jiraiya listened in silence, his eyes narrowing thoughtfully. Finally, when Naruto finished, he leaned back and exhaled heavily. "You're telling me you've not only tamed the 9 tails but also fought things I can barely imagine, all while growing stronger at a pace that's making even my head spin?" Naruto nodded. "It's been a lot, but I didn't want to keep it from you. I owe you that much." For a long moment, Jiraiya said nothing, his mind churning over the overwhelming information. Then, a smile spread across his face. "You never cease to surprise me, kid. If anyone could pull this off, it's you." Naruto sat at the serene peak of Mount Myaboku, the air thick with the scent of pine and the sound of cascading water. The Toad Sages had welcomed both him and Jiraiya to their mystical realm, the ideal place to undergo this crucial step in Naruto's journey. His control over Kurama's chakra had reached impressive heights, and the time had come to fully unlock the seal and face whatever truths lay beyond it. Jiraiya, standing a few steps away, unrolled a scroll etched with ancient seal formulas. Naruto, Jiraiya said, his tone serious but tinged with pride. This key is something even I hesitated to use. Minato entrusted it to me for when the time was right. Are you sure you're ready to face what's beyond this seal? Naruto nodded firmly, his azure eyes burning with determination. Ero Sennin, I've faced everything life has thrown at me so far, from loneliness to battles I wasn't supposed to survive. This is no different. I'll overcome it, just like I always do. Jiraiya sighed but smiled slightly. All right then, kid. Sit tight, and focus your energy inward. This might get rough. Naruto took his position, legs crossed, hands resting on his knees as Jiraiya placed the scroll in front of him. The toad sage muttered an incantation, weaving intricate hand seals that caused the formula to glow. A faint vibration coursed through the ground as the key seal activated, its energies flowing into Naruto's body. Inside Naruto's mindscape, the environment shifted dramatically. The usual sewer-like setting transformed into an expansive, glowing void. The once looming cage containing Kurama opened completely, the oppressive atmosphere now replaced by something more profound and balanced. Kurama stood proud, his massive form watching over Naruto protectively. "Welcome, brat," Kurama said, his voice carrying a newfound respect. "Now that this seal is fully gone, it's time you learned more about yourself." Before Naruto could respond, a golden light enveloped the space. Two figures materialized before him, and his heart nearly stopped. The man had spiky blonde hair and piercing blue eyes, his iconic Hokage cloak fluttering in a phantom breeze. Beside him stood a beautiful woman with vibrant red hair and a warm, loving smile. The reality of who they were hit Naruto like a wave. "Mom? Dad?" Naruto's voice quivered, disbelief giving way to raw emotion. Minato stepped forward, his face a mix of pride and regret. "Naruto, it's so good to finally meet you." Kushina smiled gently, opening her arms. "Come here, my boy." Naruto didn't hesitate. He rushed forward, embracing his mother as tears streamed down his cheeks. I've waited for this moment my whole life." "We've watched over you, Naruto," Minato said, his voice steady. "And you've made us so proud. Everything you've done, everything you've become, your strength, determination, and kindness, it's more than we could have ever hoped for." As they pulled apart, Naruto told them everything about the system, his quests, and his bond with Kurama. The revelation of his strength and his path forward left Minato and Kushina beaming with pride. "I want to bring you back," Naruto said firmly. "Both of you?" Kushina's smile faltered slightly, and Minato looked at his son with a mixture of sorrow and pride. "Naruto, there's something you need to know. My soul is bound to the Shinigami because of the Reaper Death Seal I used to stop Kurama. Even if you succeed in reviving others, I can't return." Naruto's heart sank. "But that's not fair. I wanted us to be a family again." Kushina placed a hand on Naruto's cheek. "We'll always be with you in here," she said, tapping his chest. "And you can bring me back. Let that be enough." Minato nodded. "Your mother deserves a second chance at life. And as for me, knowing you've become the man you are is more than enough." Kurama, sitting behind the family reunion, added with a gruff but respectful tone, "And for what it's worth, the brat's got me watching his back. He's not alone." The mindscape shifted slightly, and another figure appeared. Jiraiya. The toad sage's eyes widened when he saw Minato. "Minato? Is that really you?" Minato smiled. "It's been too long." The normally unflappable Jiraiya stumbled slightly, his composure shattered. "Who, idiot? You went and left us. Do you have any idea what it's been like without you?" Minato chuckled softly. "I can imagine. But I see Naruto had you watching over him. I couldn't have asked for a better guide." Jiraiya swallowed hard, overwhelmed by the reunion. Something else. Stronger than I could have dreamed. And now I understand why. As the golden light began to fade, Minato and Kushina looked at their son one last time. "Keep being you, Naruto," Kushina said, her voice breaking. "And don't forget to eat well." Minato smiled warmly. "Make the world a better place, just like you promised. You've got everything you need." As they disappeared into the light, Naruto opened his eyes in the real world. Jiraiya stood nearby, his expression contemplative. "They're proud of you, kid," Jiraiya said simply. Naruto nodded, his eyes blazing with determination. "And I'm going to make sure they always will be." "Hear me guys, this time Jiraiya mastered Sage Mode after his students surpassing him. Both of them training in their strongest forms. The mission to rescue Gaara had begun with urgency, as Tsunade commanded Team 7 and Team 10 to support the Sand Village in retrieving their Kazekage. However, Naruto, now a seasoned warrior with unparalleled abilities, decided to take the initiative. While the teams hurried along the route with determination, Naruto employed his unique teleportation portal, a skill he had honed during his travels. With precision and speed, he created a swirling gateway of energy and stepped through it, appearing directly at the Akatsuki hideout. The chilling sight of Gaara lying unconscious, with the demonic energy of Shikaku being forcibly extracted, filled Naruto with anger. He acted immediately, using his enhanced speed and reflexes to dispatch the lower-ranked Akatsuki guards, leaving a trail of incapacitated foes behind him. The extraction process was nearly complete, but Naruto's appearance disrupted the ritual, causing panic among the Akatsuki. "Who are you to barge in here?" Deidara sneered, preparing for a fight. Naruto's eyes gleamed with an intensity that froze the air. "Someone you're going to regret crossing?" Without giving them time to retaliate, Naruto moved with blinding speed. He summoned his shadow clones, creating a tactical diversion that overwhelmed the enemies. His mastery of teleportation allowed him to strike Deidara and Sasori simultaneously, their defenses crumbling under his relentless attacks. While Naruto engaged them, his shadow clones worked in tandem to retrieve Gaara. Using his precision control of mana, Naruto conjured protective barriers around the unconscious Kazekage, shielding him from further harm. With a massive burst of energy, he created a final portal, ensuring Gaara's safe return to the Sand Village. Moments later, Team 7 and Team 10 arrived at the location. What greeted them was the aftermath of a battle, crumbled rocks, collapsed caves, and an eerie silence. In the midst of it, they found Naruto standing tall, cradling the still-breathing Gaara. Sakura rushed forward, immediately checking Gaara's vital signs. "He's alive," she exclaimed in relief. "But he's weak. This will require medical attention." As Sakura worked to stabilize Gaara, Naruto assisted in delivering him back to the Sand Village. Once there, she treated Kankuro's poison, using her advanced medical ninjutsu to save his life. The Sand Village elders, including Gaara's siblings, Temari and Kankuro, expressed their profound gratitude. "We owe you a great debt," Naruto Uzumaki, Temari said, bowing slightly. "You've proven again why Gaara held such high regard for you." Naruto smiled humbly but spoke firmly. "I didn't do this for gratitude. Gaara is my friend, and I'll always be there for him." Returning to Konoha, the group delivered a detailed report of the mission's events to Tsunade in her office. As the assembled teams debriefed and received commendations, Naruto stayed behind when the others left. Tsunade noticed this and raised a brow. "Naruto, something on your mind?" He nodded, his expression serious. "I managed to extract more than just Gaara from the Akatsuki. I overheard parts of their plans, about their interest in tailed beasts and their next targets. They're moving faster than we thought. If we don't act, other villages are going to lose their Jinchuriki too." Tsunade leaned back in her chair, processing the information. And you're certain of this? Naruto's gaze didn't waver. Absolutely. I'll do whatever it takes to stop them, but we need a more unified approach. This isn't just a threat to Konoha, it's a threat to the entire ninja world. The fifth Hokage folded her hands, a spark of pride in her eyes as she looked at the young shinobi who had far surpassed expectations. You've done well, Naruto. We'll take this information and act on it immediately. For now, rest. You've more than earned it. Naruto nodded but hesitated. One more thing. I won't wait for the next attack. I'm going to prepare, to train harder than ever. I can't let anyone else suffer the way Gaara almost did. Tsunade smirked faintly. That resolve, your father would be proud. Very well, Naruto. Keep me updated on your progress. With that, Naruto left the Hokage's office, a sense of purpose radiating from him. The rescue mission had been a success, but it was only the beginning of a much larger battle against the Akatsuki. When the intel gathered during Naruto's confrontation with Sasori in the Land of Rivers pointed toward Orochimaru's whereabouts, the Konoha ninjas prepared themselves for the unexpected. The encounter had been intense. Sasori, upon realizing his defeat at Naruto's hands, revealed Orochimaru's hideout as a final parting gift, taunting the group about the Serpentine Sanin's plans. Naruto, determined to stop Orochimaru once and for all, chose to take action immediately. Leaving no room for delay, he instructed his clones to extract Deidara's scroll and safely store it with the captured Sasori's puppet core, ensuring all the Akatsuki intel reached Konoha later. The raid on Orochimaru's hideout. Naruto materialized outside the ominous entrance to Orochimaru's lair, located deep within the misty woods. The air reeked of death and experiments gone wrong, but Naruto's expression was unwavering. Inside, Orochimaru greeted Naruto with an unsettling grin. Well, it seems my secret location isn't so secret anymore. And to think it's you, Naruto-kun, standing before me. I assume Sasori and Deidara failed? Naruto narrowed his eyes, holding the dagger infused with mana at his side. They're dead. And soon so will you. No one will use me or hurt my friends again. Orochimaru chuckled darkly, his serpentine tongue flicking out as he summoned Kusanagi from his mouth. Bold words for a boy. Do you even understand what true power is? Naruto didn't bother replying. The moment Orochimaru lunged at him with lightning-fast strikes of the Kusanagi blade, Naruto countered effortlessly, deflecting with his dagger. The clash of steel echoed through the dark, twisting corridors of the hideout. Orochimaru attempted to engage Naruto using his signature jutsu, summoning large serpents to corner the Uzumaki. Yet Naruto's mastery over his mana-based techniques allowed him to unleash devastating elemental attacks. He incinerated the serpents with fire so intense they turned to ash in an instant. You're a child with tricks, Orochimaru sneered, even as he dodged one of Naruto's clones aiming for his blind spot. You can't comprehend what it takes to walk in the realm of gods? You talk too much, Naruto said flatly before teleporting behind Orochimaru with one of his shadow abilities, landing a powerful strike that sent the Sannin crashing through the lair's walls. The death of Orochimaru. Realizing he was no match for Naruto, Orochimaru resorted to using his rebirth technique to shed his damaged body and emerge in his full serpentine form. Yet this, too, proved futile. Naruto unleashed his Kurama-backed mana techniques with unparalleled precision, breaking through Orochimaru's defenses and sealing his regeneration entirely. In one final clash, Naruto poured mana into his fire dagger, igniting it with an aura that seared even the walls of the hideout. This is where it ends, Orochimaru. You'll never hurt anyone else. Before Orochimaru could respond, Naruto struck, the fire dagger piercing straight through his serpentine body and engulfing him in a blazing inferno. Orochimaru's screams echoed briefly before his body dissolved completely, the remnants reduced to nothingness. When Naruto returned to Konoha, his expression was calm but his resolve unwavering. He detailed the entire encounter to Tsunade and Jiraiya, reporting Orochimaru's demise and Kabuto's escape. "You really killed Orochimaru?" Tsunade asked, stunned by the revelation. Naruto nodded firmly. "He won't bother anyone anymore. But Kabuto escaped. He'll be trouble later." Jiraiya crossed his arms, giving Naruto an approving nod. "You've come far, Naruto. Taking down one of the Sannin is no small feat." Naruto clenched his fist. "I didn't do it for recognition. I did it to protect everyone. Orochimaru didn't deserve another day to plot against us." Tsunade placed a hand on his shoulder. "You've done the village a great service, Naruto. I'll make sure everyone knows what you've achieved." Naruto merely nodded. He knew that the fight wasn't over, not with Kabuto on the loose and the Akatsuki still in play. But for now, one of the greatest threats to Konoha was no more. When Tsunade received news of the Akatsuki's latest movements, she quickly summoned Naruto to her office. The tension in the air was palpable as the Hokage briefed Naruto on the situation. "Shikamaru's team is on a mission to track down Haiden and Kazu," Tsunade began, her tone grave. "Their strategy is sound, but I'm not willing to take any risks. We can't afford to lose any more lives. Naruto, I'm personally assigning you to back them up. Asuma's with them, but the Akatsuki are unpredictable." Naruto nodded, his expression serious. "Understood, Tsunade-bachan. I won't let anyone down." Tsunade smirked lightly at the nickname, then gestured him forward. "You'll need to move quickly to catch up. I'm counting on you." Naruto didn't waste a second. Using his teleportation portal, he pinpointed Shikamaru's team's location and appeared near them just as the battle against Haiden and Kakuzu began. The scene was chaotic. Shikamaru's shadow jutsu was engaged, Asuma was exchanging blows with Haiden, and Kakuzu's monstrous forms loomed over the battlefield. "Asuma-sensei!" Naruto shouted as he landed in the fray. Asuma grinned briefly, despite the tension. "Good to see you, Naruto. Looks like you've got our backup." Naruto formed a set of shadow clones instantly, directing them to support Shikamaru and the rest of the team. His primary focus, however, was Kazu, whose multiple elemental attacks were proving to be a major threat. Kakuzu snarled as he saw Naruto approach. "Another brat? You think you're strong enough to take me on?" Naruto smirked confidently. "Let's find out." Using his mastery of mana, Naruto unleashed precise elemental attacks that rivaled Kakuzu's. Fire clashed with water, wind cut through lightning, and the battlefield lit up in a dazzling display of power. Naruto's clones worked in harmony, isolating Haiden with Shikamaru's shadows while focusing his main assault on Kazu. Shikamaru, seeing an opening, executed his plan to trap Haiden in a carefully laid explosive net, taking the immortal Akatsuki member out of the fight for good. Meanwhile, Naruto managed to destroy Kakuzu's remaining hearts one by one with a combination of physical attacks and mana-based jutsu. As the battle concluded, Shikamaru's team regrouped, grateful for Naruto's assistance. Asuma clapped a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "You've grown stronger, Naruto. I'm proud of you." Naruto grinned, scratching the back of his head. "Just doing my part, sensei." The team returned to Konoha, victorious and largely unscathed, thanks to Naruto's intervention. However, the mood in the village took a sudden turn when shocking news reached Tsunade. The Akatsuki's current situation was dire. With Orochimaru's death and several key members gone, their plan of capturing the tailed beasts was in shambles. Tobi, who orchestrated the organization from the shadows, sat in silence as pain conveyed his frustration. The extraction ritual for the tailed beasts requires the full strength of the Akatsuki, Pain declared, his Rinnegan eyes focused and stern. "We cannot proceed with so few members." Tobi nodded, his spiraling mask hiding the frustration that lurked beneath. We will halt our plans for the time being. Without the One-Tails, proceeding will only lead to failure. Let our remaining members regroup while we monitor Naruto and the Jinchuriki. This setback can still be turned to our advantage. Pain's reply was a simple nod. He trusted no one, not even Toby entirely, but for now, aligning their goals was the only option. Meanwhile, Toby's mind shifted to other matters, the Uchihas. Sasuke and Itachi's final battle. On the outskirts of a desolate hideout, a powerful storm was brewing, both in the skies above and in the hearts of two brothers who now stood across from one another. The long-awaited confrontation between Sasuke and Itachi had finally come to fruition. Sasuke's Sharingan spun wildly, reflecting his hatred and years of suffering. "This is it, Itachi," he spat. "You won't escape this time. I will avenge the Uchiha clan, even if it costs me my life." Itachi remained calm, his expression unreadable. "You lack hatred," he said simply, his Mangekyo Sharingan glowing ominously. "But if you believe you're ready, come. Let me see what you've gained after all these years." Their battle unfolded in an explosion of raw power and deadly techniques. Sasuke's Chidori clashed against Itachi's Amaterasu, lightning and flames illuminating the battlefield in an almost apocalyptic display. Despite Sasuke's growth and ferocity, Itachi's mastery over the Sharingan and his composed nature gave him the upper hand, forcing Sasuke to dig deeper into his arsenal of attacks. Eventually, Sasuke summoned the enormous Kirin, directing the sky's lightning to rain judgment upon his brother. The strike obliterated the battlefield, but when the dust settled, Itachi emerged, weakened but standing, his Susanoo activated. The fight continued until Sasuke, exhausted and on the verge of collapse, watched as Itachi reached out to him. His bloodied finger tapped Sasuke's forehead as he whispered his final words. "Forgive me, Sasuke. There was never any hatred." With that, Itachi fell lifeless, leaving Sasuke to grapple with his conflicting emotions. He had achieved his goal, yet why did his heart feel empty? The arrival of Toby. As Sasuke stared at Itachi's body, his breathing ragged, he felt a sudden presence behind him. Turning sharply, Sharingan still activated, Sasuke faced the masked man. Toby stepped forward, his aura calm yet menacing. "So, you finally killed your brother. I imagine it didn't feel quite as satisfying as you expected," he began. "Who are you?" Sasuke demanded, his voice edged with both exhaustion and suspicion. "Just someone who understands what it means to lose everything," Toby replied smoothly. "I am Uchiha Madara, and I've come to reveal the truth about your brother and the hidden lies of the Leaf Village." At first, Sasuke scoffed. "Don't insult me with your lies. I know why he massacred the clan. He was a traitor." "Was he, though?" Toby's voice was low, deliberate. Or was Itachi simply a pawn, following orders from Konoha to eliminate his own family? Have you ever questioned why the Uchiha clan was so despised by the Leaf? Why your brother chose to spare only you? Sasuke faltered. "What are you saying?" Toby sat down as if he had all the time in the world. "The truth, Sasuke. Your brother sacrificed everything. His name, his reputation, and eventually his life, for the village and, more importantly, for you. He killed your family because he had no choice. But do you know who gave the order? It came from the highest powers in Konoha." Sasuke's eyes widened, his Sharingan spinning faster. "No, that can't be true. You're lying." Toby leaned closer, his mask mere inches from Sasuke's face. "Search your heart. You already know. That hatred you've clung to for so long, it's misplaced. Konoha used Itachi, just as it used the Uchiha clan, and then cast them aside. Your vengeance should be directed at them, not him." Sasuke's fall. The silence that followed was deafening. Sasuke's mind raced as he replayed the years of mistrust, the clan's ostracization, the way Itachi acted so cold and yet spared him alone. Pieces of the puzzle began falling into place, and they painted a picture more horrific than anything Sasuke had imagined. His fists clenched, his nails digging into his palms until they bled. "The village," he whispered. "It's their fault. They're the ones who ruined everything." Tobi stood, his mask hiding his triumph. "Exactly. And Naruto, don't think for a second he's innocent. He embodies Konoha's ideals. He's the symbol of everything the Uchiha clan suffered under." Sasuke's body tensed at the mention of Naruto. His jealousy flared up alongside his newly reignited hatred. "No, he's always been there, always surpassing me, always standing in my way. If Konoha needs to pay, then so does he." "You're beginning to understand, Sasuke," Tobi said with a dark edge to his voice. "Together, we can bring justice to the Uchiha clan. But to do so, you must embrace your hatred completely." Sasuke's new resolve. Sasuke turned to Itachi's body one last time. His expression was hard, unreadable, as he wiped away the remnants of tears from his battle. "Itachi, I'm sorry, but I can't let this go. I'll destroy everything Konoha stands for, starting with Naruto." Tobi extended a hand. "Then join me, and together we'll achieve what the Uchiha clan never could, true power." Without hesitation, Sasuke took his hand. From that moment his path was set. Manipulated and consumed by his grief and hatred, Sasuke's fall from grace was complete. Same as canon, he awakened Themis, and Tobi helps him to form the Team Taka. This time he hires Yugo Tsuchitestu Karen during his encounter in the Orochimaru's lab. Because Tobi want the secret for the reanimation jutsu and the searched Orochimaru, they shocked to find he was killed, so they have to find some other way. But they don't know about Kabuto still alive in some hidden place. Meanwhile, Naruto complete his mission and killed both Kakazu and Hidden. He come to find Sasuke was missing. Tsunade orders the Rookie 9 to rescue Sasuke and retrieve any information related to Akatsuki. Meanwhile, they know Sasuke went to kill Itachi. Okay guys, I end this chapter here. In next chapter 1 we'll end this story, so see you all in next chapter. Until peace.